Hey guys, welcome back. Today we've got the Medford Praetorian T. Not the full tie, but the T version. And we'll explain the differences as we go along here. But I also wanted to touch base on the number 9 coin. I've had some comments and questions about it and whatnot. Rule number 9, anybody that's ever watched NCIS, Jethro Gibbs, he's got all these rules. Rule number 9 is never go anywhere without a knife. So a buddy of mine, Derek, who runs a company, DNA Lasering, has a Facebook group and whatnot, and I'll put a link to his page down below in the description. He made this one, and he made a run of these. This particular one, the run that he was doing was solid silver. So this is a solid troy ounce of silver with the engraving and the plastic case with a it's like a spacer, like styrofoam cushioning, whatever in there. So I've not taken it out of the case because I don't want to get my grubby paws all over it and whatnot. But totally cool guy, super fast for him to do that. He does a bunch of different laser engravings. So anyway, on to the knife that we came here to talk about today. So this is the Medford Knife and Tool Praetorian T. Close length is 5 1/8 and a little bit more. The scales, if you look on their website, is they say the close length is 4.9 inches, which is actually the length of the scale. Add a little bit for the breaker and you're at 5 1/8 plus. Overall length on this guy is just a hair under 9 ounces or 9 inches. The blade length, as I measured it from the edge of the scale to the tip, is 3.75, with a cutting edge also 3.75 because it kind of lines right up with this part of where I measured from. The blade thickness on this is 0.19, just a hair under 0.19. This particular one is a D2 steel with the black oxide coating. So this one is a couple years old. I don't remember when I got it. I was the second owner, I think. A buddy of mine won it on a raffle or something, and so I picked it up from him. So this has the black oxide coating on it. This one has PVD coated scales. The overall thickness is 0.49, not including the clip. Runs on phosphor bronze washers, and a measurement that I don't do on every blade, which I probably should start to include, is the height. I call it the height. The width of the blade, I guess, is 1.88 inches on this one. So that gives you that height of the blade. This one has upgraded titanium hardware rather than their stainless steel. You can see on this particular one that on the pivot screw here, it has the Medford Knife and Tool shield logo, outline, and that signifies that this is titanium hardware. So when they do the titanium pivot, they also do titanium screws. Nowadays, the current version of titanium's hardware just has a little TI in the middle of the pivot. So it has PVD scales on both sides, flame anodized clip, flame anodized hardware for the pivot, as well as the screws, as well as, I'm not sure how well it's going to show up, the standoffs. The standoffs are also flame anodized. And then the breaker is NP3 coated with the lanyard hole. So that's pretty much the specs on these. So the T version signifies titanium because they also do make a G version, which has this presentation side out of G10. There's a lot of confusion sometimes about the T versus the TI. The Praetorian TI, or full tie, has much thicker blade and thicker scales. because it's the full tie version. It's still all out of titanium, but it's a thicker version. And I will pull one of those out to compare this to on another video coming up when I do a review on a full tie. So it has the finger grooves, which honestly don't line up with your fingers. So it's more of an aesthetic thing. It does give you some grip, but it's kind of an aesthetic thing. It does have the jimping on the top, which is pretty sharp. But it gives you a lot of grip. You are not moving. I mean, this is going to hold in your hand really well. If you were to have gloves on, it would be, even more phenomenal. You can choke up with this finger choil. The finger choil could be a little bigger for my fingers, but it works. I like the look of it. You either like them or hate them. This one is super smooth. It broke in really phenomenal. It has a super strong detent. So it's not going to fall out if you shake it around. You can finger flick it. That's how I typically do most all of my Medfords, is I finger flick them. This does have, because it's an older one, it has the rounded off fuller. I talked about that in my Marauder series. They have different fullers now. So how they used to be rounded off here with a ball mill, they're now square bottomed fullers with more cut out with an end mill. They fit in your pocket fairly well. It does take up a chunk of real estate, but it's really not bad for what it is. I really like it. This is I kind of jumped around a little bit. This is the Tonto version. So on the Tonto, you have a flat grind on this front edge and a hollow grind on this back main cutting edge. So it gives you a lot of real estate for cutting. It will smash through a car door if you want it to with that strong Tonto point. All around, you either love them or hate them. I like them. I like the way they look. They're overbuilt. They're crazy, but they work. So as far as, they have the standard Medford quote unquote negatives, the exposed detent track, the very sharp lock bar cutout. And this one is especially because the way it kind of curves here. So not only do you have the sharper edge here, but you have this point right here on the edge that could be potentially, bothersome under hard use. But all in all, it feels really good in the hand. I do like the flamed clip. I do really like the flamed hardware. This one is just super smooth and built really well. I'm very happy with it. So let's give you a couple of size comparisons. Get our Sharpie, of course. Yeah, about the same size as the handle. I haven't put away the Spyderco Tenacious yet. And I really can't hide or put away the Todd Big Field Marshal because, well, so that is almost exactly the same size in length. And pretty close in overall, enclosed length. Actually, yeah, it's almost identical in closed length also. Obviously, the Praetorian is much taller in height, but both great knives, excellent knives. And I still have my Zelos HammerHead 2 watch on because it's still with me for another week until I pass it on to the next guy in our little watch tour. So I am leaving it on my wrist as much as I can to take full advantage of just this beautiful, beautiful 1,000-meter water resistance watch. Wow. But yeah, I'll put a link to the video I did on this watch too, just in case you didn't see that one yet. So anyway, there you have it. Their flagship Praetorian tee. In a few days, we'll do a Praetorian tie, and then we'll do, like I did with the Marauder family, I will do the Praetorian family because there's multiple versions of that and multiple sizes and multiple thicknesses as well. And then we'll follow that up at the very end with a Praetorian family video. So anyway, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the Praetorian overbuilt knives in general. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot.